Trump dashed to safety after man was spotted with rifle. TikTok to begin appeal against being banned in U.S. Singer Tito Jackson dead at 70. First man convicted for wearing seditious T-shirt in Hong Kong. 20 likely dead in violence near Papua New Guinea gold mine. These and more stories to come your way in a moment. Please do stay with us.
From lands across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Details, we begin with Africa. Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger will introduce new biometric passports as part of their withdrawal from a West African bloc in favor of a new Sahel alliance after military leaders seized power in all three countries. Mali's leader said on Sunday. The three junta-led Sahel neighbors jointly announced in January that they would leave the 15-member Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, which has sought to persuade them to reconsider their decision. Burkina Faso announced earlier this month that it was rolling out new passports without the ECOWAS logo. In the coming days, a new biometric passport of the Alliance of Sahel States will be put into circulation with the aim of harmonizing travel documents in their common area and facilitating the mobility of their citizens throughout the world. Malian junta leader Assimi Goïta announced on Sunday evening. He spoke ahead of a meeting on Monday between the three countries' foreign ministers on the anniversary of the decision to form their own alliance. Goïta also said they were planning to launch a shared information channel in order to promote a harmonious dissemination of information in their three states. ECOWAS has warned that the three countries' withdrawal would undermine the freedom of movement and common markets of the 400 million people living in the 49-year-old bloc. Their departure comes as their armies battle groups linked to Al-Qaeda and Islamic State, whose insurgencies have destabilized the region over the past decade and threaten to spill over into coastal West African states. Former President Donald Trump is safe after an apparent assassination attempt at his Florida golf course on Sunday afternoon. U.S. authorities confirmed a potential suspect is in custody. Secret Service agents opened fire at Trump, who was 300 to 500 yards away. A witness reported seeing Ryan Routh emerge from bushes and jump into a black Nissan car after multiple shots. An AK-47 style firearm and scope, along with 2 backpacks and a GoPro camera, were later found at the scene. The witness took a picture of the vehicle and number plate, and it was stopped later in Martin County, north of the club. The witness said a gunman was attempting to shoot at former President Donald Trump. The Martin County Sheriff's Office was alerted and detained the suspect. The witness identified a person who jumped into the car from the bushes. It is unclear if the gunman fired at the former president or the agents. Secret Service Myanmar Field Office agents engaged with the suspect. Trump has confirmed that he is safe and well and will never surrender. The incident follows a gunman's attempt to assassinate him at a rally in Pennsylvania, striking his ear. The Secret Service is investigating a protective incident involving Trump, which occurred shortly before 14 EST on Sunday. Sheriff Bradshaw praised the Secret Service agents for their quick response to the incident. Heavy security presence is now in place around Trump's Mar-a-Lago property in Florida and his golf course at West Palm Beach. U.S. media has identified Ryan Wesley Routh, 58 years old, as a suspect in a golf course attack on Trump's golf course in Hawaii. Routh was charged with several offenses in North Carolina between 2002 and 2010. Including carrying a concealed weapon, resisting arrest, hit and run, driving with a revoked license, and possession of stolen property. The White House has informant rights argued that uploading the diverse or ban law would be a gift to authoritarian regimes worldwide. They believe that repressive governments could use this precedent to justify restrictions on citizens' access to foreign information, ideas, and media. Columbia University's Knight First Amendment Institute has filed an amicus brief criticizing lawmakers for being vague about the specific national security threats they claim TikTok possess. The case against TikTok is a high-stakes, complex legal battle that could drag on for months or longer. The case, which involves the constitutionality of a broad restriction on First Amendment rights, is expected to go all the way to the Supreme Court, as courts typically defer to the president on national security matters. Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, has retracted false claims about migrants eating pets in an Ohio town, leading to security threats and causing Wittenberg University to cancel events due to a threat targeting its Haitian community. U.S. Senator Vance defended false stories about the suffering of the American people on Sunday talk shows, stating that media ignored them until Donald Trump and he discussed cat memes. He emphasized that he would create stories from first-hand accounts from his constituents to focus the American media on the issue. Springfield City officials have repeatedly debunked animal-eating claims, which were first brought up by Trump during his first presidential debate against Kamala Harris. Mayor Rob Ryu stated that conspiracy theories and Trump's pledge to mass deport migrants were hurting the town, and that people's pets are safe in Springfield, Ohio. Ryu has made it clear in multiple interviews that this is not true. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine dismissed rumors of a violent attack on Haitians in Springfield, stating that they were a piece of garbage that was simply not true. The incident led to the evacuation of 3 schools and other city buildings. Wittenberg University police warned students, faculty, and staff to exercise extreme precaution and be alert to their surroundings, as the message targeted Haitian members of the community. Springfield police have received calls about Proud Boys marching in the city following a social media video. Springfield police have denied aligning with the Proud Boys, but attributed the issue to Harris' open borders. Trump has vowed large deportations from Springfield if elected, claiming the town has been destroyed by immigration. Baby Reindeer, a popular British TV show, won 4 Emmy Awards, with creator Richard Gard winning 3 for acting, writing, and executive producing. Co-star Jessica Gunning won Best Supporting Actress in a limited series, expressing gratitude for the awards. The controversial show Baby Reindeer, based on the true story of a woman stalked and sexually abused by a male TV industry figure, has been praised by the creator, David Gard, for its impact on people. Gard, who received the award for Best Writing for a limited series, praised the show's success and its ability to break through cultural barriers. He acknowledged that the UK media's focus on the negative aspects of the show has led to a lack of empathy and understanding for those going through difficult times. The Bear won 3 acting awards in the comedy category, including Best Comedy Actor for Jeremy Allen White. Supporting awards went to Ebon Marks Bachrach and Lisa Kalanzayas. The show, set in a restaurant kitchen, raised eyebrows for being nominated in the comedy section instead of drama. Hacks won the award for the Best Comedy Series. Hack star Jean Smart won Best Comedy Actress at the Emmys, her 3rd win in a row. Elizabeth Debicki won her 1st Emmy for her role as Princess Diana in Netflix's The Crown. Shogun, a Japanese historical epic, broke the record for the most Emmy wins in a single year, winning 14 prizes at the Creative Arts Emmy. The show also won Best Drama Series, becoming the first non-English language show to win that prestigious prize. Executive producer Justin Marks thanked the show's backers, including Disney, Hulu, and FX, for their support. British talent including Billy Crudup, Jodie Foster, John Oliver, and Will Smith won awards at the British Television Awards. Traitors host Alan Cumming won Best Reality Competition Show, beating RuPaul's Drag Race. Cumming also won Best Reality Competition Host at the Creative Arts Emmys. Tito Jackson, an original member of the Jackson 5 pop group and brother of the late Michael Jackson, has died aged 70, U.S. media report. An official cause of death is yet to be determined. Tito performed in the iconic ensemble with brothers Jackie, Jermaine, Marlon, and Michael, who died in 2009. He was recently in Munich ahead of a performance that the groups were due to give. Steve Manning, a longtime Jackson family friend and former Jackson family manager, told Entertainment Tonight that Jackson died on Monday. The news was confirmed in an Instagram post by his 3 sons, Taj, Taril, and TJ Jackson, who were themselves an R&B and pop trio in the 1980s. In the 1990s, I beg your pardon. The Jackson 5's hits included ABC, The Love You Save, and I Want You Back. The group was formed in 1964 and has sold more than 150 million records worldwide. In 1980, the siblings were presented with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and were inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997. Jackson had been playing in the Jacksons as recently as August when he performed at the Fool in Love Festival at Hollywood Park Grounds on 31st August in California with Taril, Jackie, and Marlon Jackson. Former Jackson 5 drummer Jonathan Moffett expressed his deep sadness over the passing of his brother Tito Jackson, who was the 3rd oldest of 9 siblings. Tito was a blues musician and the final sibling to place a solo single on the Billboard charts with his 2016 hit, Get It Baby. Moffett's condolences are extended to the entire Jackson family. Mexico's judicial reform allowing voters to elect judges officially took effect after constitutional changes were published in the government gazette, marking a significant legislative victory for President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Lopez Obrador, who often clashed with judges he decried as corrupt, argued the overhaul was needed to better serve the interests of ordinary citizens. Critics counter that electing judges rather than appointing them will end the judiciary's political independence while undermining investors' confidence. The reform was championed by Lopez Obrador and approved by his allies in Congress and a majority of state legislatures earlier this month. Lopez Obrador signed a decree for the reform's publication while sitting next to his successor, Claudia Sheinbaum, in a video posted on social media. The constitutional reforms publication in the government's gazette kicks off the process to prepare for the first judicial elections for federal judges, including Supreme Court justices, set for next June. Ecuador will implement a nationwide blackout for maintenance in the country's electricity system overnight on Wednesday from 10 p.m. local time to Thursday at 6 a.m., the government said in a statement on Sunday. The measure is aimed at preventative maintenance in national transmission system sites and in the power distribution network, the statement said. The transmission work will cost around $1.19 million, while maintenance on distribution will cost around $1 million. The power cut comes as Ecuador contends with a serious drought that is affecting hydroelectric dams, which supply most of the country's power. President Daniel Noboa's office issued a statement saying that the schedule was chosen with a sense of responsibility with the aim of not affecting the daily life of Ecuadorians and the country's productivity. Noboa's administration has previously ordered power cuts in times of energy shortages. In June, officials blamed a nationwide outage on faulty transmission lines and insufficient maintenance. Hong Kong man Chu Kai-peng has pleaded guilty to sedition for wearing a protest slogan on a T-shirt on Monday. The 27-year-old was the first to be convicted under the city's new national security law, which expanded the maximum sentence from 2 years to 7 years and could potentially extend to 10 years. Hong Kong police arrested Chu on June 12 wearing a T-shirt with the slogan "Liberate Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Times," and a yellow mask with FDNOL, which were frequently chanted during pro-democracy protests in 2019. Chu claimed he wore the T-shirt to remind people of the protests. The case is being adjourned for sentencing by Chief Magistrate Victor So. Hong Kong was returned from Britain to China in 1997 under Beijing's promise of guaranteeing its freedoms, including freedom of speech, that would be protected under a one country, two systems formula. Beijing imposed a national security law in 2020 punishing secession, subversion, terrorism, or collusion with foreign forces with up to life in prison. After the months-long protests in the financial hub, in March 2024, Hong Kong passed the second new security law, a homegrown ordinance, also known as Article 23, according to its parent provision in the city's mini-constitution, the Basic Law. Critics, including the U.S. government, have expressed concerns over the new security law and said the vaguely defined provisions regarding sedition could be used to curb dissent. Hong Kong and Chinese officials have said it was necessary to plug loopholes in the national security regime. You're watching the international news on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Please do stay with us.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back to the broadcast of the international news on Atlantic Television Network. We are open for adverts, placements, bookings and commercials. And you can connect with us and watch us on ATN Socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok at Atlantic TV Network 1, X formerly Twitter at Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website at atlanticnetwork.tv. And now to the rest of our stories. Hundreds of thousands of people were evacuated as a powerful typhoon made landfall near China's financial hub, Shanghai. Typhoon Bebinka hit at about 7:30 local time on Monday in the coastal area of Lingang City in Shanghai's east, the China Meteorological Administration said. Chinese state media reports the strongest storm to hit Shanghai in 75 years. Causing over 400,000 people to be relocated and 9,000 from the Chongming district. Flights were cancelled, train services were halted, and highways closed. A 40 km/h speed limit was imposed on roads within the city. Shanghai's 25 million residents are advised to stay home due to a typhoon Bebinka, which has recorded with wind speeds of up to 15 km/h. The storm is expected to weaken as it moves inland. Videos show large trees toppled, people dragging bicycles and motorcycles through flooded streets, and billboards collapsed. A typhoon in Shanghai has sparked widespread discussion on Weibo, with users fearing it will worsen. Some users posted videos of violent trees swaying, while others advised locking doors and windows and not leaving homes unnecessarily. Strong typhoons are rare in Shanghai, making landfall further south in China. Shanghai has experienced multiple typhoons, including Yagi, which killed at least 4 people and injured 95, and Bebinka, which caused severe flooding in Japan and the Philippines. The city's flood control headquarters reported dozens of incidents related to the typhoon, including falling trees and billboards. Resorts in Shanghai have been temporarily closed and ferries halted. Bebinka is expected to move northwest, causing heavy rainfall fall and high winds in Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Anhui provinces. 24-year-old student has died from the Nipah virus in the southern India state of Kerala, a local media official said on Monday, and 151 people who came into contact with the victim are under observation to prevent the spread of the deadly virus. This is the second death caused by Nipah in Kerala since July. Nipah is classified as a priority pathogen by the World Health Organization because of its potential to trigger an epidemic. There is no vaccine to prevent infection and no treatment to cure it. Kerala is at high risk of Nipah virus outbreaks, causing a lethal brain swelling fever in humans. A student in Malappuram, northern Kerala, died 5 days after showing fever symptoms on September 4th. A blood sample confirmed a Nipah infection on September 9th, according to a district medical officer. 5 other people who have developed primary symptoms of a Nipah infection have had blood samples drawn and they were sent for test, without saying if they were primary contacts of the dead person, according to report. ATN gathered that nearly 151 people are being monitored for any symptoms after they were found to be the primary contacts list of the victim, who had come from Bengaluru. This is the second death from a Nipah infection in Malappuram. This after a 4-year-old boy succumbed in July. Nipah has been linked to the deaths of dozens of people in Kerala since its first appearance in the state in 2018. Philippines plans to continue deploying vessels in the contested Sabina Shoal in the South China Sea, following the return of a Philippine ship to port after a 5-month deployment. The Philippine Coast Guard spokesperson J. Tariela stated that they will maintain presence over these waters. Tariela said the ship's return was not related to China's demand for Manila to withdraw its vessel. Instead, it was so it could be repaired and to return to the crew's medical needs. Sabina Shoal, which China refers to as Xiangbing Reef, and the Philippines as the Escoda Shoal, lies west of the Philippine province of Palawan, within the country's exclusive economic zone. China's Coast Guard has committed to maintaining a constant presence in the shoal, regardless of vessel size or number, to ensure law enforcement in waters under Beijing's jurisdiction and protect its territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests. China claims sovereignty over most of the South China Sea, overlapping into maritime zones of Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam. In 2016, the Hague Arbitration Tribunal voided China's expansive and historical claims, a decision Beijing rejects. Indian opposition leader Arvind Kejriwal said on Sunday that he will resign as Chief Minister of the Delhi regional government 2 days after he was released from prison on bail in a graft case. Kejriwal was granted bail on Friday by India's Supreme Court and left prison in the evening almost 6 months after being detained in relation to alleged irregularities in the capital city's liquor policy. Kejriwal is a fierce critic of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and a former anti-corruption crusader whose decade-old Adami party quickly rose to mainstream politics. Although its clout is relatively small compared to other opposition parties, AAP had expected that Kejriwal's release from prison would allow him to campaign as a chief minister in regional elections next month in the northern state of Haryana and in Delhi earlier next year. Kejriwal, announcing his resignation as chief minister at a meeting with AAP workers, said he would only return to the post if people certify his honesty by voting for him in the upcoming Delhi election. He called on the Election Commission to bring forward the Delhi election to November from February 2025. He was first taken into custody in March by India's Financial Crime Fighting Agency, weeks before the country's national elections, in relation to Delhi's liquor policy. Although he was granted bail in that case in July, he remained in detention due to his arrest the previous month by the federal police in another graft case related to the same policy. Kejriwal, 55 years old, and AAP denied the allegations and say the cases are politically motivated. Violent attacks near Barrick Gold's Porgera gold mine in Papua New Guinea has likely killed at least 20 people and forced women and children to flee the region, local media reported. Papua New Guinea has granted police emergency powers, including the use of lethal force, to contain the violence in Porgera between illegal settlers squatting near the gold mine and local landowners. Newspapers Post Courier and The National reported late on Sunday. Barrick Gold and PNG police did not immediately respond to a request seeking comment. Several schools, hospitals, banks and other government services in the regions have been closed due to the violence, the Post Courier said in a report. Home to hundreds of tribes and languages, the Pacific nation to Australia's north has a long history of tribal warfare. However, violence has ratcheted up over the past decade as villagers swapped bows and arrows for military rifles and elections deepened existing tribal divides. Violent attacks on 3 remote villages in July in the country's north killed 26 people, including 16 children, according to the United Nations. The North Korean Supreme People's Assembly, the reclusive state's rubber stamp parliament, will convene a new session on October 7 in Pyongyang to discuss matters related to a constitutional amendment, state media reported. The last SPA meeting was held in January, where leader Kim Jong-un called for a constitutional amendment that would view South Korea as the primary foe. At that time, Kim said he had concluded that unification with the South was no longer possible. Other issues such as laws regarding the light industry and product quality supervision will also be discussed, according to the Korean Central News Agency. The decision for the next meeting was made at a plenary meeting of the Parliament Standing Committee on Sunday. The North's Parliament rarely meets and usually serves to approve decisions on issues such as governing structures and budgets that have been created by the state's ruling Workers' Party, members of which form the vast majority of the assembly. Thailand expects less than 40 million people to sign up for its flagship digital wallet handout scheme, with the first phase set to be distributed to 14.5 million vulnerable people from September 25th. A finance ministry official said on Monday. The government has planned to give away 450 billion baht to 45 million people under its stimulus program, which will see 10,000 bahts transferred to each person who registers to spend in their localities within 6 months. About 36 million people have so far registered for the program, some which overlap with the vulnerable groups, Lavaron Sangsneet, the Permanent Secretary, told reporters. There are about 3 million people without smartphones, he added. It is expected that the number of participants in the project will not reach 40 million, which will allow for more flexibility in budget management, he said. The second phase of the handouts is expected in early next year, Lavaron said. For today, before we go, another look at the major stars. We told you that Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger to launch biometric passport alliance. We also told you that Trump dashed to safety after man was spotted with rifle. Tito is set to begin appeal against being banned in U.S. We also informed you that singer Tito Jackson is at 70 years. Convicted for wearing a religious t-shirt in Hong Kong. 20 likely dead in violence near Papua New Guinea gold mine. And that's it on the international news for today. I am Victor Peter. Thank you so much for watching, and you can follow us on our social media platforms. X, formerly Twitter, is at Atlantic Television Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Business news comes up next.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children in rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman, the Honorable Commissioner for Information